Hey, what's up, y'all? Gangsta Brew, K8 to the Fizzo here. And I cannot believe that this woman, Candace Owen, is running her mouth talking about we owe her an apology for something that we already knew about so-called BLM, which is, I'm going to go by its real origin, Black Lesbians Matter, because it was particularly ran by three lesbians that had hate for brothers. But the hell with what I'm saying, I'm not gonna waste a bunch of time on this. I'm just gonna hit play and let the foolishness speak for itself.
Don't worry, I'm gonna keep this quick. Black America, you owe me an apology.
No, we don't, Candace. We do not owe your ass an apology on anything regarding Black Lesbians Matter that was obviously funded by George Soros. Tell us something we don't know, Candace.
And I want my apology. Okay? Because, that was a long couple of years of you guys calling me a race traitor because I refused to be an idiot and I was obviously recognizing the scam that was Black Lives Matter. I was obviously able to.
This is something we already knew, Candace. So no, we do not owe you an apology for that. I know it was ran by three lesbians that was completely funded by George Soros. If you actually did your research, go look it up. Since you want to talk about an apologies, why don't you go look up that? Their connection with George Soros.
Discern that they were using the faces of dead black people to get you guys to run around, act like fools.
In particular, mostly dead brothers. Dead brothers. It was a few sisters in there. There's a few sisters in there. I'm not going to exclude them. But it was mostly dead brothers. Go ahead.
Get your sons and daughters arrested in protests, wearing signs, painting streets, BLM, BLM, not realizing this is free marketing. This is how marketing works in business. Everybody ran around to be a billboard for Black Lives Matter. They got white people, you owe me an apology too, white liberals running around with their guilt, opening their wallets, bending down to Black Lives Matter, and nobody asked the question about where all the money was going. If you guys did not recognize that it was a corporate scam, how do you think they got the NBA?
Speaking of corporate scams, speaking of that, I got one question for you, Candace. Speaking of corporate scams and all that, where the hell is your apology for that name, for that woman from Minneapolis that you stole the name Blexit from? Yeah, you were Officer Tatum. Yeah, that lawsuit is still on the damn table. I haven't forgot about that, Candace. Where is your apology to that sister from Minneapolis?
On board so quickly, the NFL on board so quickly. How do you think they managed to transform America so quickly with politicians demanding that there was Black Lives Matter squares and Black Lives Matter signs? I mean, you were looking at a business that was being built very quickly around a suspicious time, election time, when the riots seemed to keep happening. Black Lives Matter. They were telling you COVID didn't matter. Protesting was more important. Anybody with common sense knew that this was a money laundering operation. Anybody with common sense knew.
Speaking of money laundering operations, how much dough did you raise above of that fake ass black shit over there? So you are just as guilty of money laundering off of a name that is not originally yours. So you, of all people, should shut the fuck up when it comes to stealing from another sister. You stole from that sister from Minneapolis, and everybody knows it. So you owe that sister from Minneapolis not only this lawsuit But you owe her some money too, cause you raised a bunch of money off of your fake ass black shit, Candace.
You that Black Lives Matter was raising money for something other than black people. You're looking around, there was no headquarters. There was no intent to say they were going to build a school, that they were going to give out scholarships to black.
Yet you stole a name from a woman from Minneapolis, but you want to talk about integrity? Get the fuck out of here, Candace.
There was nothing that was done other than demanding your allegiance. And some of you guys, a lot of you guys, got on board and got angry at Candace Owens and other people too, who were telling you that this was a scam. You called me so many racist names and said that I betrayed my race, when in reality, you were betraying your intelligence. You were too emotional to see what was obvious and right in front of you. So now...
Yeah, what happened to that? Hold up. What happened to that so-called intelligence that you talked about when you insulted the Nazis? You insulted the Nazis at a particular Turning Point USA event. I follow this stuff vividly, even though I'm no longer politically active because I'm a conscious brew now. But back in the day before when I was lost in the world, I was following politics like a hawk. And I do remember you dissing the Nazis like crazy at a Turning Point event, but for some reason Charlie Kirk still works with you. And yet I knew behind the scenes he was pissed at you with that. Huh, Candace? But you want to talk about integrity?
The narrative's cracking. Patrisse Cullors got $3 million in homes. Separately, these other three people they bought as just now a $6 million house. That's $9 million. There was some house that was announced in Canada that she bought for her girlfriend. Okay, that's...
Speaking of integrity, didn't your unintelligent ass run a doxing site that you basically endorse snitching? You endorse snitching on a digital level? That you publicly endorse doxing? Yes, you, Candace, you publicly endorse doxing, which means you were in support of snitching on other people. And you tried to make a dime off of that, and it flopped. Oh, but I also remember you, because you wasn't always this conservative chick that you always big yourself up to be. Because I remember you doing a TED talk as an activist progressive. Yeah, that's right. You did a TED talk as an activist progressive before you turned conservative, Candace. So isn't this calling the kettle black? I think so.
Totaling around, let's call that $12 million. Here's the best part. You're not done finding out. This is nothing, okay? Black Lives Matter announced that they raised over $90 million, okay? They were funded, they were bussed, all of this stuff was paid for by white Democratic operatives, right? Where's the rest of the money? They're getting you focused to look at the three black people, but those people are at the bottom of the organization, okay? These people were just dogs that were willing to betray their race, were willing to let black people get arrested, were willing to allow, black Americans to riot in the streets for these young kids to get records. They didn't care, right? Those were just your average day hustlers.
Yeah, you're in the middle of a fucking lawsuit with that other divester from Maryland. She goes by the name of Kimberly Klacik, who ran a campaign in Maryland. Yeah, aren't you in a lawsuit with her? Particularly for defamation? Yeah. The act that you caused in that particular case? Huh, Candace? Yeah, she's suing you for $20 million for defamation of character, which you directly insulted her character. Yes, you directly insulted her character, and now you're in your feelings, and you're getting your ass kicked in court too, Because I heard about those 2 cases that you threw against Miss Clayson getting thrown out due to lack of evidence. Candace, you just don't know. Your book bombed. You're on the decline. You think you're on the up and up, but your time's about to run out, Candace. And it really is. And you want to talk about everybody else getting their nigga moment? You about to get yours real soon, Candace. Including that marriage of yours, which is about to implode on you. That marriage that you holding up over there, yeah, it's about to implode on you, Candace. Shalom to the royal priesthood, gangsta brute, KDA to the motherfucking Fizzo, putting this fraud ass, putting this fraud ass liar in her place again. Shalom, Israel.